In this collection that I have here, this is not just the Nickelodeon movies, this is Nickelodeon tapes that I have, and some of these you've seen before in the VHS collection episode and the DVD collection episode, but some of these DVDs I just bought, so this DVD collection has gotten bigger. So, here we go. Right here. There we go. That's the Nickelodeon movie collection. Now, some of these aren't Nickelodeon movies, they're not, some of them are just tapes of stuff, but they're Nickelodeon related, so we'll talk about them anyway. So we got SpongeBob SquarePants Nautical Nonsense right here, VHS tape episode. This was actually the first VHS tape to ever be released of SpongeBob, so yeah, I got that. And I also have Sea Stories, 5 episodes right there with SpongeBob. And here's another SpongeBob episode, DVD of episodes right here, Lost at Sea, and the Lost episode, The Sponge Who Could Fly, that was brand new here. And by the way, this DVD came out before that episode even aired. Like, this DVD came out like a month and a half before the episode came on the air, I think. So when that episode came on the air, by the way, I had already seen it, so it wasn't a big deal for me. But yeah, this has that. So enough talk about this. Let's talk about the Nickelodeon movies. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about the Nickelodeon movies that I consider Nickelodeon movies. They weren't in theaters, but they came on TV, and they're Nickelodeon related, so it counts. I just talked about this one. Drake and Josh Go Hollywood, the movie, and the Naked Brothers Band movie. I'll go over these real quick, because I want to talk about all these. The Drake and Josh Go Hollywood, the movie. I got really excited for this movie. If you don't know, Drake is looking for a new manager, and Josh decides to become his manager, and he gets him a job on TRL with his band. And they have to go to Hollywood to do it, and when they do it, it turns out there's a miscommunication with some thugs, and they get into a little bit of trouble with these bad guys, and they get captured. And Megan, their little sister, comes in to save them and everything. It's a big adventure movie, pretty much. Like this movie, I always felt like one more rewrite with this movie, it would have been perfect for the big screen, which every 12-year-old kid would love to see, you know, when this was on TV. But I don't know. As a TV movie, it's good. It's pretty good. This is pretty much the Drake and Josh movie, really. That's really what it is. I don't have that Merry Christmas Drake and Josh movie. I have seen it, and I thought it was good. I thought it was okay, but I don't have that one on DVD. I might get that for this Christmas, actually. I haven't seen that in years, that one. And the Naked Brothers Band movie. This, it's funny, you know, I just watched this recently when I got it on Amazon. This is actually a pretty, well, it's kind of like the show, as like I said in the Teen Nick episode. It's the same thing as the show, but the movie's actually interesting. It's a documentary. It's a Beatles wannabe band, and the band breaks up. You know, it's like, think Beatles crossed with This Is Spinal Tap, crossed with documentary, kind of crossed with Partridge Family, kind of vibes. You know, kind of like that. So, but nevertheless, the songs are good. That's why I like it. So that's Naked Brothers Band. Now we're going to get to the theatrically released movies that we all know. So, and these are the only ones I have. So here they are, right here. Alright. Now we're going to go in order of when they were released. So we're going to start with this one. Snow Day. Yeah, Snow Day. Okay. Let's talk about Snow Day for a minute. This came out in February of 2000, okay? Hard to believe it was that long ago because it feels like a couple of years ago when really it was almost 20 years ago. I was 6. I was 6 when this came out in February of 2000. I was 6. And this movie came out, and the funny thing is this movie has nothing to do with Nickelodeon. It's not based on a Nickelodeon show. It doesn't tie into any other Nickelodeon movies. It's not a cartoon. At times it feels like a cartoon. The only connection I can make is that Josh Peck is in it. A very young Josh Peck. Pre-Amanda show, okay? So that's how young he is here. I think he's like 10 or 11 in this. Like, he's really young. And also, for those of you who had Nickelodeon movies on videocassette, orange tape, yeah, remember the orange tapes? Yeah. So, anyway, so that's Snow Day. I remember my parents took my sister and myself to see this, and we went to see it, and I remember when Blockbuster announced they were going to release it on video, like they were going to have it in the video store, my sister and I, we were like, Mom, Dad, we gotta rent this the weekend it comes out, because we love this movie, and I remember, we rented it, it was the orange tape, we brought it home, we must have watched it maybe 3 times, the whole time we had it rented. We loved this movie. And I've watched it again, and you know what? I don't care how silly and stupid it is, it still holds up, it's childhood, I love this movie, I don't care, I love it. This has Nickelodeon written all over it. Kids rule in this movie, and it's awesome. That's the best thing about it, you know? That's what Nickelodeon was all about in those days. That's really what it was all about. Empowerment to the kids. So yeah, I really... And some of the stuff in this movie is really, really funny. Yeah, it's a funny movie. It does have some stupid things in it, but nevertheless, it's a good movie. Snow Day's definitely good. If you haven't seen Snow Day, definitely check it out. It's good. Alright, then we zip ahead to November of 2000. Rugrats in Paris, the movie. Yeah. I don't have the Rugrats movie on DVD yet, but I will. Even though this came out after the Rugrats movie. Rugrats in Paris. This, you know, a lot of people say that this one is the best one out of all 3 of the Rugrats movies. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, because this is the one where Chucky wants a new mom, and they go to Paris and all that stuff. Yeah, yeah. The big climax at the end of this movie is still hilarious as it was back then. I did not see Rugrats in Paris in the theater. I didn't. Because remember, as I said before, I grew up with the Rugrats movie, but I didn't know it was a show yet. And I started watching SpongeBob in the summer of 2000. So right around the time when Rugrats in Paris came out, that's when I started watching Rugrats on TV. But I didn't see this in theaters. I didn't see this until it came out on video, like a couple of years later. And it's good. It's pretty good, Rugrats in Paris. So that's that. And now we skip ahead to the next year, December 2001. Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, yeah. I remember going to see this. You know, I gotta tell you, it's not so much the movie that brought me back to being a kid, but the soundtrack. Lil Romeo, Nick Cannon, 3LW. Aaron Carter, In Sync. It takes you right back, right? Yeah, where are all those people now? No idea. No idea where all those people went. But yeah, it's really and in fact, you know, this movie was actually pretty good. This film, for some of you guys who don't know, when this movie came out, this film came out at a time when the best animated feature was a category in the Academy Awards. That had never been done before. So this was one of the candidates for that award, along with Monsters Incorporated and the film that won, Shrek, which was the most popular movie of 2001 in my book, because every kid had to see Shrek. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Nickelodeon. So, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. This DVD, this is actually an original 2002 DVD. I've had this since I was 9, and it works fine. It's got all tons of special features on here. I'll show it right there, and you can read that. You can pause that if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. There. This has all the, has the theatrical trailer. You don't see theatrical trailers anymore on DVD menus anymore with DVDs. It's strange. It's got music videos on here. It's got 12 promotional spots. It has the cliffhangers and the interstitials, I think. Yeah, those were shown on Nickelodeon on television, like as little like serials, you know, like what's Jimmy gonna go through next and everything. And I'm glad they put them on the DVD, because I do remember watching those on Nickelodeon, like when to promote the movie, you know. But the movie was pretty good. And the show came out after the movie, you know. The show came out like a couple months later. And the show's pretty good, too, in my opinion. I do like that. June 2002. One of my favorite Nicktoons gets his movie, and it's awesome. And he's going to get another movie this November, and I've been waiting 13 years for that one. Thank you, Craig Bartlett. Thank you. So, anyway, I'll go into a little bit of history about that. So, Hey Arnold, the movie comes out. I saw the teaser for this. I got so hyped because Hey Arnold comes right behind SpongeBob in my book. I freaking loved Hey Arnold as a kid because I was a 9-year-old boy in the 4th grade when I was watching this show, so I could relate, okay? And I really, really did like Hey Arnold, and this movie came out. You know, it's so weird. I remember seeing this in the theaters, and I had it on video cassette for a while, and I can't find the VHS, so I just wound up buying it on DVD. And I'm glad I did, because it takes back a lot of stuff. Now, for those who don't know, this is when their neighborhood is going to get torn down, and Arnold, Gerald, and Helga got to save the neighborhood and everything. But this was pretty good. It was good. You know, it was good for a Hey Arnold movie. You know, it was, I enjoyed it. Brought back a lot of memories watching it. So yeah, and he's going to get another, he's going to get a TV movie this November, you know, we're going to find out what happens after the so-called series finale. It's no longer going to be a cliffhanger anymore, folks. We're going to find out what happened. So I'm really excited about that. That's coming in November on Nickelodeon. That'll be the first time I've tuned into Nickelodeon in a long time. Okay, and December of 2002, the Wild Thornberrys movie, yeah. I was never really a fan of the show, The Wild Thornberrys. I couldn't get into the show, but I knew all the characters, I knew the storyline, I knew what was going on, because it wasn't that hard a show to really think about, you know, it was a cartoon, but every time it was on TV, I just never really got into it. So when the movie came out and I saw trailers for it, I'm like, oh, they're making The Wild Thornberrys into a movie now? Okay, maybe I'll go see that. And it's a Nickelodeon movie, and the tape is black. It's not orange. Why? I don't know why it's not orange. All the Nickelodeon movies should be orange. Right? Don't know why. But, 2 thumbs up. Ebert and Roper. Yeah, Roger Ebert and Richard Roper on here. If you look if I take a look at a lot of the video cassettes that I have, you'll see, like, Siskel and Ebert comments, or Ebert and Roper comments on them. So, yeah, and I thought the movie was good. I thought it was good. I went to the theater to see it with my mom and my aunt and my sister and some of my cousins. We all went. My mom and my aunt didn't have a clue what this was, but we were the kids. We knew, because we watched it. I didn't, but I knew the characters. And it was good. I did like the Wild Thornberrys movie. I thought it was really good. I haven't seen it in a while, though. I have a feeling I should watch it again. But I thought... yeah, and Paul Simon did the song for that. I always thought that song was really good. This movie introduced me to Paul Simon, because I had never heard of Simon and Garfunkel before this movie came out, and I was 9. This was December of 2002, so I was 9 when this came out, and it was a really good little movie. It was good. Now we jump ahead to June of 2003, the third Rugrats movie, Rugrats Go Wild. Now, this was a big deal because you have 2 Nicktoons coming together in the same movie. Your mind could explode at that point, okay? Huge deal. Huge deal here, okay? It's like... okay, it's almost kind of like in... Okay, you know in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you have Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny in the same shot talking to one another? That's huge. Same deal here. Huge, okay? And what do I think of Rugrats Go Wild? It's okay. It's okay. It's got some good moments in it. I thought it was okay. It was pretty good. It was cool to see. But, you know, it's really strange because Nickelodeon was just popping these movies out one after another. I mean, we had 3 Nickelodeon movies in 1 year. We had the Hey Arnold movie, we had the Wild Thornberrys movie, and we had, what else did we have in 2002? We had a couple. Oh, we only had 2, Nickelodeon movies, but we had them both in the same year. You know, and then Rugrats Go Wild comes out, and then in November of 2004, And I was waiting for them to do this for 4 years, and then they finally did it. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Yeah. Now, let's talk about the SpongeBob movie for a little bit, okay? Oh, getting back to the Rugrats Go Wild real quick. I don't know if you remember, because I went to the theater to see Rugrats Go Wild. I don't know if you guys remember this, but they gave you, when you bought a ticket to see Rugrats Go Wild, they gave you that smell, that scratch and sniff thing. They haven't done that in forever at the movies. I didn't bother scratching and sniffing that because I didn't want to smell that or that or that. That's disgusting. I didn't want to... No. So I didn't partake in that. They gave me the card, but I just threw it in the trash. I did not want to sniff and smell. And every time that came on, that little number at the bottom of the screen would blink saying, hey, scratch off number 2 and smell it. No, I didn't want to do that. I was 10. I knew better. So... yeah, so the SpongeBob movie comes out, and let me tell you something about the SpongeBob movie. I got a couple stories to tell you about that, okay? Ooh, I kicked the tripod a little bit. Okay. When Rugrats Go Wild came out, they had the first teaser trailer for the SpongeBob movie, which is really weird because Rugrats Go Wild came out in June of 2003. This came out in November of 2004. So that's... I mean, I know that's not that long, but that's a lot of time, you know, in between to advertise a movie like this. So, I've been waiting for them to I was waiting for them to make a SpongeBob movie since I first saw SpongeBob. I mean, like, SpongeBob was everywhere during the first 3 seasons of that show. He was everywhere. He was the #1 biggest cartoon character ever. And I think he still is. But in his heyday, in the early 2000s, SpongeBob was everywhere. You couldn't get away from SpongeBob. You couldn't. He was everywhere. And I remember thinking to myself, if Nickelodeon... because Nickelodeon Movies was making all these cartoons into movies. And I'm like, well, if they ever do SpongeBob, I'm curious what that movie would be. And I ended up making a SpongeBob movie in December of 2003, and it's in that stack of video cassettes over there, which I will never show you guys, because it's stupid. But needless to say, it's nothing like this. It's not. I remember going to see this in the theaters, and I remember thinking, I wonder if this movie is close to the movie I made. It wasn't. Aside from Plankton getting the Krabby Patty formula, which was obvious. We all knew that was going to happen in this movie, because that was a dilemma building up in the show, so it seems only obvious in the movie it would happen. But I remember seeing the first teaser trailer for that, you know, with the submarine and everything.
Sonar Core Zero, is that sound still out there?
Got 9. What do you got?
Mother of God.
Don't you just love playing submarine, Gary?
And he dives it down and we cut back to the shots of U-571 and the submarine singing. They're like, ah!
Prepare to dive!
The SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
And then it cuts to the captain, and he's like, "Sir, for a second," and they're playing the theme song of SpongeBob in the background. He goes, "Sir, for a second there."
I thought I heard singing, sir.
Oh my gosh! I gotta see that! And my dad did not want to go see this. He couldn't stand SpongeBob when I was a kid. He hated it when I turned it on. He thought SpongeBob was annoying. He hated... My dad doesn't like cartoons, okay? He grew up. He's an adult, you know? He didn't like this. But I did. And a lot of other kids did. And I went to see it. And guys, I love it. I still think it's funny. The movie was a riot. And in many ways, this was the end of SpongeBob that we all know. And if you want to know what I think of the second SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, I went to go see it. I thought it was good. I was really happy that most of that movie was in 2D and not 3D, because the trailers made it look like it was going to be in 3D animation, but it really wasn't. It was like the cartoon. It was like 2/3 of that movie was them underwater in Bikini Bottom in 2D, you know, like the cartoon. So I was surprised, but I wouldn't get that on DVD. I wasn't crazy about the movie, but I thought it was good. This one was better, because this is when I grew up with SpongeBob. I mean, I was 11 when this came out, so I was really into it. And And that's it. Those are all the Nickelodeon movies I have. And again, I don't have Clock Stoppers. I don't have A Series of Unfortunate Events or the Charlotte's Web movie or any of those Nickelodeon. They claim they're Nickelodeon movies. Or Harriet the Spy. Again, that was before my time. But these are the Nickelodeon movies I have because these are the ones I grew up. Because this is when I was watching Nickelodeon. Okay, so yeah, those are my thoughts on the Nickelodeon movies, guys. Right there. And I think I might watch some of them right about now. Bring back some old memories, right? So anyway, those are my thoughts on the Nickelodeon movies, and I will see you guys in the next review. Later.